Ayano, can you raise your hand? Okay, you're on screen. Take the rest of the night off. That's enough.
I need that.
That's the one.
Here she is.
Yeah, the maximum computer mismanagement for the century. Xerox had it all in their own hands. All theirs right in front of them. Jordan H., how'd you get Amazon to get that book to you so quickly?
Just ordered it.
I know, but what was your shipping choice?
My PSC box.
I know, but did you pay extra for shipping? Or free shipping?
Yeah, Prime?
No.
Prime?
Dang.
Yeah, I think it was that very night that we mentioned it in class that I bought it, and it only took a week and a half or so to get here.
That's bad.
And, but you had some other items too, though, to get the free shipping?
Just some other books.
I get it. Do you buy more books than you read?
Yes.
Yes, I do too.
I got a whole shelf at home full
Yes,
that I haven't
yes.
even read yet.
Yes, yes.
I peck at them slowly though. Waiting for retirement. Then I can read and golf and do whatever else.
Never Huggins, the one who was on the side in Malaysia. He just got his base today.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to Florida.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I want either there or Arizona, somewhere.
Somewhere he's about to be around.
Yep.
You don't want this?
No.
Definitely not.
Teach their own.
I don't mind it. Reminds me of home, but I'd rather it be sunny.
Well, you got 12 more years at least, huh?
11 and a half, but who's counting?
You. So what's your strike goal? Where do you want to be at the end of 20? Oh, you don't want to jinx it, don't say
I
it.
will settle with Master Sergeant,
What?
but
Yeah.
I would like to be senior, maybe chief.
Mhm.
Try to put a couple more years on if you want to get chief.
Yeah,
25 years.
yeah, I don't know if I'm down for that.
Definitely not. When they tell you you can get out at 20, and it's like, yeah, I'm done. Pay me my money.
If I got a line number for senior or something, when it comes time to retire, I'll probably stay a couple years to keep the stripe, but
Probably
beyond that,
a few $100 more bucks a month, probably.
yeah, probably. I'm gonna do something else with my life. Retired at 38, sounds pretty good though.
You get restless.
You'd be so bored.
Need something.
Then you start programming. There you go.
Join my grandpa down in Mexico and go fishing every day.
That'll work for 6 months.
I don't know, he's been doing it for about 10 years now.
But what age did he start?
He was 50.
That's the
something.
difference, yeah, you're 38, you're not
Yeah.
gonna feel that you actually lived a life, contributed,
True.
made your mark, built a legend, got worship, books written about you.
Yeah.
Do what?
Hi,
Hi.
for example, Bill Clinton, what was he, president at 44? And then dead at 52, can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
oh,
where is the whole thing?
You didn't sniff it out?
It
Go
just
look for it.
is whole way. Like I just stopped by the office, but here to there, it's all like well, somebody eating a lot.
Oh, 2 minutes, start off. Hi, Shoko. Oh, Shoko's not tired tonight, they didn't beat up on you in the toilet building, huh?
You guys get busy during this week? Yeah.
Looking for Guam.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's horrible.
You going to Guam?
I wish I was, nah, I wish. My kid is, me and another guy have like 620 kid and his 6, my 620 and his going, but I don't get to go with him. I get to go with him to Korea.
Sweet.
Yeah. Got my wife and son to go back to the States and they're going to Florida for vacation. Like, oh, have a great time. Yeah, mom, it's so nice. I'm here.
Yeah. Paid live.
Yeah.
So 30 seconds, so if you're involved in some other fascinating activity, would you try to find a good stopping point? About 20 seconds, so we'll start together.
I think your project scared everybody away tonight, sir.
Good, I was worried it wasn't gonna have that serious effect.
It's probably the roads.
Evening, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you tonight?
Living a dream,
I knew you were dreaming somewhere.
right?
So, let's do attendance. Please raise your hand if you're not here. Kazuza. Jeffrey.
Yo.
We rehearsed all the time.
Don't worry, I was actually working.
Are we supposed to regard that as unusual activity?
Oh. That's good.
So I think we only have Kazuza not yet appearing. Okay, so I'd like to welcome everyone. We're in the middle of the course now. It's going very, very well. And are there any comments, remarks, suggestions? Okay, let's do the most exciting thing first. Let's go through chapter 5. I'd like to point out a couple of points that you might not have noticed. And that is, first, if a operating system is what we call multitasking, as most of your single core systems are, it appears to be doing more than one task at once. But it's only got one CPU. So how is it that it can appear to be doing more than one task at once with only one CPU? So hint is in the phrase, so if you're good at taking words apart, you can tell me why. Gene Baker, you're probably very good at that. What do you think we mean by time slicing? Alternates among tasks. One CPU attempting to appear to be doing 3 or 4 things at once takes each second of CPU activity. Sarah, you get located in there.
Yes, I'm located in the book.
Okay, good. Each second of an activity and it slices it. And actually it takes each microsecond of activity and slices it. So you might get 1/10 of a microsecond and then it switches to the other task for 7/10 of a microsecond. And then a third task for 3/10 or 2/10 of a microsecond. Agreed? And then it comes back to you. So have you been able to notice the gap?
No.
No. So they appear, because the computer is so much faster, to run simultaneously, but one CPU can only do one thing at a time. It can time slice it down to such minuscule slices that it appears to be running multiple tasks at once. Now we get into multiprocessing, then we are actually doing things truly simultaneously, usually with more than one core. So that was one point that might not have been typed out. And there might be 1 or 2 others that obscure, and all the rest are quite totally obvious. All right. Okay, so ball's in your court. 10 questions. Hi, here we go. So Jordan H., who is your target? Jeff. Choco. All right.
What is virtual memory?
Okay, first we want to answer without looking. Choco, can you answer without looking? Choco?
Is that tricky?
Yes.
Is that tricky?
Yes. Anybody without looking? Gene?
It's when you're using a portion of your internal hard drive, sort of like RAM, to make it best.
Okay, now when does this kick in?
It kicks in when the hard drive has, or storage is not available
When RAM is full?
when RAM is full.
Right.
When
yeah.
RAM is full, it kicks in. Now what's the detriment of it?
Slower.
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 Yeah.
Right, RAM operates in microseconds, hard drive access operates in milliseconds. You say that's pretty fast, but it's 1,000 times slower. Now, if you think 1,000 times, it's still very fast. Okay, you can hold your breath for 1 second. Now hold your breath for 1,000 seconds. So a factor of 1,000 is actually a big deal. Okay, Gene Baker, next you asking whom?
I will ask Jeff, what's the difference between system software and application software?
Handle it, Jeff.
System software tells what the computer what to do. Application software tells the system software what to do.
That's a very original. Did you make that up or you stay up all night or something?
No,
Where'd you get that from?
not just a hat rack.
How come you pointed to your computer first? That is a very original way to say it, and it says it very, very well. Okay, now, which one of these delivers a product? Systems or application?
Apps.
Application. And which provides the environment for the application to run as a systems? Provides the environment, okay? Now, which is always hovering like a mother hen, making sure that you don't cross over any boundaries and interfere the system software doing all of that. Jeff, your turn, please.
Miguel. During the boot process, what essential portion of the operation is loaded into the memory?
Ooh, yes,
Say
that
that
is,
again?
During the boot process, what essential portion of the operation is loaded
operating
into the
system,
memory?
operating system. The boot process. In other words, the operating system is about a program that is probably about 10 megs or larger, megabytes, it's huge. And you don't bring it all into RAM, first you'd overload RAM, and take too long to bring it in. And most of it doesn't get used anyway. So we have a special name for that part of the operating system that is most likely to be used and is essential for even the minimum running of the system. And it's called, it's the K word,
Well,
fried chicken.
yeah, I got Colonel.
Who-
I was
got it.
thinking it was something else, but Colonel.
Good deal.
Colonel,
I just-
Marcus,
but-
Oh, Marcus, sorry.
good.
So confusing.
We're still
Okay.
showing respect.
Not good at Spanish.
We're still showing respect.
Let me pick a name here out of the thing. Sierra,
Yes, sir.
who am I?
Michael.
I manage the computer systems, resources, and interface with the user.
Say one more time.
Who am I? I manage the computer system, resources, and interface with the user.
He deals with kids all day.
Okay, one more time.
Who am I?
Throw me off.
I'm still saying
I don't know,
Michael
there's
in my
so many
head. It's like with Michael and Guy, dude, sorry about the name thing.
It's got a good TV show concept.
I manage the computer systems, resources,
Uh-huh.
and interface with the user.
What am I called?
User interface.
That's pretty good.
Beep, beep, beep.
Close, but not close
Not
enough.
even close, come on. Okay, somebody else, anybody?
Operating system.
Operating system.
No.
Close.
Operating system, tough question, mishandled. Okay, Gene again, pick a person.
Jordan in the back. What do you need to do to efficiently remove programs from your system?
Efficiently remove, oh, very good question, yeah.
Oh, yes.
To remove programs from
Efficiently,
system?
right,
Yeah, like would
efficiently.
you just go and take the folder and throw it away?
Yeah, I just right click, delete,
Pull the plug.
clear my trash can.
I just use a hammer.
Well, he didn't ask you what you did, he asked you what you did to
That's
do it
efficient.
efficiently.
Yeah, it's efficient for me.
Yeah, I like the hammer idea.
Anybody else?
Never say it again.
Anybody else? How do you
You uninstall.
uninstall a program efficiently? To get all the loose garbage out of there so it doesn't clog up and cause errors later. You uninstall it, you let the system do it. Okay, side question. The uninstall, is it a part of the system, or is it a part of the system software, or is it a utility program?
It's a utility
Utility
program and
program.
operating system.
Well done. So many utility programs come packaged with the operating system.
Alright.
Now, for bells and whistles, we almost think they're part of the operating system. But it's not necessary to have uninstalled to run your computer. It's just necessary to have a cleaner, more tightly organized computer. So who did that one? Who answered that one?
Oh.
Go, sir. We're bouncing around just between 2-3 people.
Sierra.
Okay, now we're gonna call on some new people after
Yeah,
this.
we just went over this.
I mean, you didn't know it.
Okay.
What year was the original version of Windows created?
Year.
Yeah, Windows 1.
Okay, Windows 1.
Yeah, the year. What year were you born?
1990.
Me too.
You were?
Okay, what year was Windows 1 released?
91.
No,
95.
no.
Perfect.
1971.
Anybody?
1984.
1985.
84.
85.
Should've been
Okay.
71, 81.
I was
Easy
close.
questions, guys, I'm sorry.
It was an easy question.
very good
But
at
it was a
years.
nitpicky little detail. Now, why was Windows, Windows 1 was created by the same company that was on top of the world by running and selling and outselling everybody, the DOS operating system. Second place wasn't even close. So why did they decide themselves to get a iconic graphical user interface? Why did they make that business decision?
Because it was more user friendly.
No, because they could see the future. They could see the future. They had a lot of complaints about the command line prompt, typing all this stuff in, and they knew if they didn't do it, somebody else was gonna do it. Hold up the book out right now, please. Thank you very much. This is a counterexample of what not to do. Xerox Corporation on top of the world had this 17-year patent on dry copies. Money coming in like crazy. They created the PC and put it on the shelf. The mismanagement decision of the century. Dealers of lightning. Jordan got the book. It's fascinating reading. Highly recommended to anyone else. Okay, since nobody got that one, then you get to repeat. Oh, let's get that homage, lineage down correct. First, what was the DOS operating system? Ayana, what was the DOS operating system? First, what did DOS stand for? Okay, anybody, what did
Disk operating.
Right, now why was it called a disk operating system? Because it was created in a day before we had hard drives. You just had floppies, and it was on a floppy disk. You loaded it in. So, disk operating system, and gone. Hi.
You overloaded the RAM.
Okay, so disk operating system, okay, so let's fast forward. 1985, Microsoft released Windows 1.0. Nobody's really interested. So now, was Windows 1.0 a new operating system?
No, this is actually one of my questions. Can I just ask my question since it encompasses yours? I don't want to
My class?
Skipping a line.
Yeah, go ahead, take
Okay.
it, go ahead. Yeah, you do it.
Everything below Windows 3, 3.11, and below were graphical shells that operated around the DOS operating system and were designed to make DOS easier. And I just read my answer, not my question.
I
Sorry.
know. Why don't I get it real?
What's the question?
The question is,
They were operating in
are the early versions of Windows real operating systems?
other environments.
They were just graphical user interfaces pasted on top of DOS. Then they just transferred you to DOS. And they were just an easier way to get the command entered. Instead of typing it, you clicked on an icon, and the Windows translated your icon into a command prompt and passed it to old-fashioned DOS. They were not new in the slightest. What year was the first pure, full Windows operating system released? That's right, 95, Windows 95.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the first real Windows. What was the next real Windows?
I just saw a video.
The next real Windows.
2001.
That's right, 98. Windows
Same thing.
98. And then
Good year.
2000. Okay? And for those of you interested in details, they were all basically Windows 95 with upgrades. And then Microsoft introduced Windows NT at the time, which was built for service. It was higher powered, much better performing. And then they pushed NT into XP, which is still regarded as one of the best operating systems they ever put out. And as you read this book, I apologize for it laboriously taking you through Vista keystrokes page by page. Those are interesting, I know, and you really do want to know them, but that's why you got your book at the price you got it. Okay, okay, so Gene Baker, who are you going to?
Ayana,
Yes.
what do you call a folder within a folder?
Ooh,
Folder within a folder.
yay. If you click to go to another folder, then what is it you're going to?
I don't know.
I know.
Subfolder.
She got it.
Ayana, you go. By the way, I want to take a moment to also talk about the divisions present in Microsoft Access. In Microsoft Access, in our table, we will here have a record, horizontal. And the collection of tables is known as a database. And here we have one table, and the horizontal components of a table are known as records. And we break the records into columns called what? In general, fields. Fields, attributes or fields. And we break the fields into items called characters, if it's text data. So we have database, table, record, field, character, hierarchy. Ayano, your turn. A little louder, please, for Jordan H.
Okay. Choco? Yes. What is the
iOS?
Uh,
iOS.
for Apple's,
Did you guys rehearse?
no. Operation system. For
Apple operating system, all in favor, for what?
Apple,
Okay, it does it,
Internet.
does he running iOS over here? He's got an Apple, is he running iOS?
No,
No.
No, he's not.
it's the phone.
No, he's not.
Am I?
and mine?
Yeah, you were.
Might be.
I am, there's no keyboard.
A full computer does not run iOS. Shoko, you gotta read more carefully. iOS is for mobile Apple
iOS is
products.
for-
Ah,
Touch screen.
okay,
Hey, the big apples, the big apple, the big apple runs,
Mac OS.
Mac 10 or 12, what they up to now?
I thought it was OS X in the text, but it might be 12 now.
Mac OS Sierra.
See, we're up to that. Okay, Shoko, your turn.
Mm, mm,
Good question so far.
Good question.
Sure.
Jeff? What is the two categories in system software?
2 categories of system software. Yes, sir, Jeff?
Two categories of system.
Yes.
Software.
Yes.
Like executable?
No. See, we know. Time's up. Anybody? Sierra?
I'm gonna go with the, hold on, my brain's got possible.
Hint, I mentioned
know-
it at the start of class.
Wait, at the start of that. All right. What's the question?
What is the two categories in system software?
Oh, okay, so maybe like, uninstalling, like that.
You did read the check.
I did. I read it. I just didn't retain it. I don't know how I could prove I read it. I have the same questions. But I
Well,
was
we
gonna
just
say
need one answer now.
So what about antivirus software? What is that called?
That's an example of what?
Application software.
Oh,
the utility.
utility.
Oh,
And-
utility?
No.
And the other one is the operating system itself.
Oh, utility. Oh.
Operating system plus utilities. Shoko, you get to go
And its
again.
device.
Yeah, sorry.
But,
Again.
wait, the question was categories of system software.
That's right.
Yes.
That'll be
One of
operating
those was
system and application
one of those was an application software, so I got operating system and what's the other
No,
category?
no. It's a system
Category.
software, but it's not an operating system. The
Right.
utility program is a systems program. Uninstall is a system
Oh,
program.
okay.
Okay, straighten that out. Shoko, one more time. Spit it out. Shoko.
What is the example of operating system?
Oh, an example of an operating system. Yes. Sierra,
Mac.
what was it for?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, I would say Windows, but a lot of people in the room say Windows is not an operating system. But I'm gonna go there anyway. I'm gonna say Windows. Okay, so Now, Jordan G., what is virtualization?
Virtualization,
Yes.
when it's virtually there, you can see it.
Virtualization.
Yeah.
I'm in operating systems. And it has to do with dual boots.
I work 2 boots every day.
And that means virtualization is?
Physically there. I don't know.
Good answer. Okay, anybody? Michael, what's virtualization?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it's one computer pretending to be many. And if you're using a computer, you think it's yours, you're doing it, but someone else using a different image of it thinks it's theirs too. And it takes a very powerful computer to be able to successfully pull this off. They can run different operating systems simultaneously, and it's a virtual computer as seen by a user. The user does not see the actual computer. The actual computer is the summation of the many virtual images it projects. So a very powerful computer to virtualize.
What's an example of that?
Yeah, is
Like,
that like server level
No?
or super?
An example of that is good, so I'll just throw that out. Somebody find an example of that. Maybe bring it in at some time, an example of virtualization. It would have to be done I don't think PC's capable, it would have to be above the PC. Okay, Marcus, could you pick up the ball and go with a new question?
Who am I? Alright. What type of devices are, slow down, oh, let me pick a person first, right? Pick a person first, and let's go with Suzuki-san.
Yes, sir.
What types of devices use an embedded operating system? Embedded operation system.
Yes. What type of computers use embedded operating systems? Beep, anybody?
Like customer service kiosks.
Those are examples, but all of them as a class are called embedded computers. Embedded computers use embedded operating systems. Is that acceptable?
That's not my answer.
Okay, ask Jordan G. what he wants to say.
That's what I would have said. Embedded computers.
Is that acceptable? Because it's from him.
Yeah, I was looking, he was closer to the
Embedded?
answer.
He was
Gene
closer
was
than I was.
closer to the answer, yes, because I was looking for cards or cash registers. or-
Examples of embedded. Okay, well, actually, Ayano Happy could
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Okay, Ayano, you get to go again, please.
That was so called.
Yeah,
Oh, Shoko, I'm sorry. Mike's saying you get to go again. Yes.
Okay. What is the, Jordan G. What is the multitasking?
Running multiple tasks at once.
Are you sure that you are Jordan Green?
Alright. Surprised you, huh?
Out of character. Jordan Green, you get to go.
Hey, looky there. Sierra, what is the difference from multiprocessing and parallel processing?
okay, this one I know.
Not
Okay,
familiar.
I read it, just don't retain it. Okay,
You
so
said you know?
parallel processing is running 2 tasks simultaneously to do it faster. And then, what was the first one? Multiprocessing is having 2 cores or 2 different CPUs, is that right? It's 2 cores to process 2 different tasks at the same time. Does that sound ballpark right?
Roughly. Where are multiprocessing used, what kind of computers,
Wait,
compared to?
How many questions is this
what?
gonna
Whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
it's the same question.
Wait, what is it?
It's all in my same answer,
What's that?
so that I can clarify her answer is good
Oh,
enough for
okay,
me.
go ahead.
So, Where is multiprocessing used? What kind of computers and what kind of computers are parallel processing mostly used in?
Okay, so multi-core computers use, multi-processing, right?
Nope,
I don't know what you're looking for.
I'm looking for the right answer.
I thought I
We
said.
haven't hit it yet.
No, definitely not.
It's a nitpicky one. Okay, Jordan Green, you wanna give the answer?
Multiprocessing is used mostly in personal computers that have multiple core CPUs, which you said. And then parallel is used mostly in supercomputers and supercomputing clusters,
Where'd you get your answer?
straight out the book.
Try this out of the book. The primary difference between these two techniques is that with multiprocessing, each core works on a different job.
Did I say that?
With parallel processing, each core works on some aspect of the same job.
Did I said that right?
Yeah,
I said that,
I apologize.
yeah,
I said that
definitely did.
almost verbatim.
I
She
apologize.
said it backwards.
Almost.
I'm humbled, I can't.
That's wrong on
No big
the
deal.
Sarah, choose five to go.
All right, let's see, finally get to.
Okay, spread this around. Pick some unused.
I don't think Gene's even been called on. He's just answered a lot of questions.
Sure.
All right, Gene. Let's see.
I could just feel
Remember that?
she was gonna call on me, so I had
Deflect.
veered over there.
You did,
Blue
actually.
Falcon over my
Really,
head.
you did a good job. All
I
right.
can feel these things.
Okay, all right, what is spooling?
Oh, spooling.
Yeah.
Spooling has to do with buffering, and it has to do with RAM. It has to do with when the processor is retrieving and disseminating data. It is also, oh shit, I'm dancing around it. Like I know I read it and I remember what
See,
it.
you're just like me.
Yeah, you
Okay,
are, you're
just
on
a
it.
cry-
You were
plea
in
for
my shoes.
sympathy, huh? Okay, give him some sympathy.
Yeah.
Ah, totally
Okay,
relate.
who, anybody?
It's a process where data is placed in a buffer until it's ready to be retrieved, such as a printer printing out a product.
Exactly.
Boom.
Well
Boom.
done. Well
I'll
done.
take that.
Marcus, your turn.
Awesome.
Could I interject? I have found a
very-
quote for virtualization. People don't have to look it up. It's at the bottom of 25. Yes,
This chapter.
the last paragraph on page 25.
25.
25, same as my IQ.
Like
Hey,
Jeff, can you read the last paragraph? One trend involving mid-range servers.
next one. 25 is the, oh, okay. 25, go ahead, what, where?
One trend, the bottom of the page.
One trend involving mid-range servers as well as the mainframe computers discussed next today is virtualization, creating virtual rather than actual versions of a computing resource. Server virtualization uses separate server environments that, although physically located on the same computer, oh, you want me to? Function and separate servers and do not interact with each other. For instance, all applications of an organization can be installed in virtual environments on one or more physical servers instead of using a separate server for each application.
Okay, I think we got it straight. Now, if you have a strong enough computer, it can pretend to be more than a single computer.
That's a good breakdown.
Yeah, it's called schizophrenia, but in people. Okay, so Jeff, you want, Gene, who answered your question? Marcus, you're on spooling, you're a spooler.
Oh, right, man.
Somebody different now, spread it around.
It was really good. Awesome.
Let's see who hasn't had one in a while, Onishi-san.
Hi.
Which operating system is distributed free over the internet?
Ooh. Yes. Which operating system is free? and worth every penny of it.
Hey,
It is good, it's a good operating system. Yeah. Okay, let's name some candidates. Somebody name one operating system.
Linux.
iOS,
Another one,
OS,
another,
Unix.
another,
Windows 10.
another.
Wait, I can get it.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, I got it.
Red Hat,
Red Hat.
Android.
Android.
There's
Wow.
a U one too.
Nobody's got it. Okay, anybody, what's the answer to this question? Which one's a free operating system?
Linux.
Linux. Linux.
Oh, Unix, that's the other one.
Unix is not free.
Oh, well, no, I'm saying that's like.
What do Unix and Linux have in common?
They spell the same.
They spell the same.
It has some
For years, I
similar
thought they were
features.
the same because they're spelled the same.
Isn't Unix like a prerequisite to Linux, like, and then they took, like, the guy who invented?
No, the book is very clear. He did it from scratch. It's a totally different operating system written by a student during his lunch hour. Cafeteria was closed in Finland. And it's a wonderful operating system. And it was innovative. So George G., in what way has the Linux operating system been a revolution?
Come along. It's a revolution.
In what way, sir?
Couldn't tell you.
Good answers. You're very consistent.
Uh-huh.
Okay, first, what is meant by open source software?
Anyone?
Shoko, what does open source software mean? Yeah. Now let's fast forward. In a few weeks in here, you guys are gonna write a computer program. Now you're gonna write it in a computer programming language. And it's going to be fairly readable because it's a high-level language. Now those commands that you write in the high-level language are known as your source code. Can the computer run them? No, computer can only run zeros and ones. So we have a translating piece of software known as your compiler that compiles your English-like statement into a string of zeros and ones that the computer can execute, called your object code. Now, when you buy a piece of software, they send you the object code. You can print it out. And if you can make sense of all those zeros and ones, you could steal it. But you can't. But if you could get the source code before it was translated, then you could do with it as you wished, agreed?
Correct.
So the source code is what the company keeps secret. And there is a new phenomenon known as reverse engineering, where some very clever people do take the zeros and ones and reverse them back into the source with a good deal of success. Ethics not involved. And then it was revolutionized by a few people decided that the world should be a better place. I wasn't among them, I've thought about it. And they opened the doors and the covers of their software source code books and said, here, everybody, here's the source code. This man wrote a complete operating system, and it was a very successful one, and instead of just sending out copies of the zeros and ones, the object code, he published all of his source statements for the intent of betterment of the world, so his fellow programmers could improve upon it if they wanted to, and they did, in flocks. And the only trouble is they improved upon it in incompatible ways. So that one person's improvement didn't work with another person's improvement if you wrote a program for one of them. So there came out of this a standardizing committee that gave the seal of approval that your program would run on a standard Linux version. So open source software is a bit like at the University of Maryland, we have open educational resources. For decades, you guys paid high money for textbooks, agreed? And then it's been revolutionized. A few very, very philanthropic people have written textbooks without charging any money. Open educational resources. And that's what Maryland's using to teach with now. Unfortunately, the majority of them are worth what they cost. And in some courses, there have been some discontent about the effectiveness of the learning using them. And in some courses, it was decided that the original expensive textbooks were actually worth the money, because they said things so clearly in 3 or 4 different colors, and they got the learning across. Every once in a while, we do find an OER that is of high quality. The same happened with computer programming. A lot of people release their source code, so what? Their programs weren't good. So what's the good of having source code for programs that aren't that great? The writer of Linux, who was called Linus, so I assume that's where the name came from, released his source code, and it was good and continues to be good. Now, the trouble is that if you pay full price for a top-of-the-line quality computer operating system like OS, you get support, agreed? You get documentation. You're not out there on your own. If you run the Linux operating system, which is free, you get no support, nothing. You're all on your own. So a few companies have decided to make a buck where there's a buck to be made, and they release and sell a supported version of Linux, meaning if you have trouble, you can call in, like Red Hat Linux is probably the most popular one out there. So it's become a whole industry, Linux operating system. And Michael, Mason, Miguel, Maestro, what's the relation between Linux and Android? Is Android a Linux knockoff?
Google developed Android from what they knew about Linux.
Well said. Well said. It's free, so there's nothing wrong with doing that. And they did something that Linux itself wasn't built for, and that is they personalized everything for a mobile device very successfully. So it's a personalized mobile device Linux operating system, Android. And Google's a major player, but there are some others in that consortium that's financing it besides Google. And now, Jeff, as the proud owner, what's the relation between Mac OS and Unix?
Mac OS is based off of Unix.
Same. So we all think Apple is a great, innovative, creative, one-of-a-kind company. Their operating system is a Unix-based operating system. Now, the original Unix had a big negative. It was the same big negative as the original DOS operating system. Ayano, what was the original negative of the DOS operating system? Was it graphical, or was it command line typing? How do we get to command prompt here with the Windows 7? It's not Windows 10. I'll work on it during the break. I'll bring up a DOS.
Command line typing.
Yeah, I'll bring up DOS. I'll try, but it's worth seeing. It's a command line operating system. The original Unix was also a command line operating system. And then there were versions of it that switched to GUI. Okay, so Sierra, what does GUI stand for? GUI, GUI.
General user interface.
Graphical user interface. Okay, good. So, Mike, who answered your question successfully? It was
You asked me a question.
well.
Yes.
Originally. It is my turn to ask for
George G., what's meant by memory management?
Where you manage the memory.
Okay, George, your question.
He's good.
Your question,
Fair
sir.
enough.
Superstar.
Better than I usually get out of him.
Hey, yeah.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Gene, what is file management?
Managing files.
You guys are catching on.
Good nature's saying, why didn't I take a real course? Okay, Gene, file management is,
It's when you manage files.
Yes.
what I admire about Gene is he can do that without cracking up.
You
You can, you don't have control.
You're right.
Okay, Gene, can we give me 2 examples of Windows file management systems?
Windows file management systems, like when you start sorting things, putting them into folders in your internal hard drive.
That's right, FAT32, and the other one is? In
Internal.
NT what?
TF, 64.
NFTS.
NFTS,
Yes.
Close enough.
There it is.
okay, which is newer?
NFTS.
Okay, good, well answered, Gene. Gene, your turn.
I'm gonna go up to Jordan in the front. Why would someone use a file compression program?
Nothing else to do.
Why not? Yeah, why?
Why
To
not?
reduce the size of whatever files they want,
Congratulations.
smaller.
And
It's
fast.
pretty good.
Yep, that's exactly.
Compress the files.
It just happens to be the answer.
Is there a negative to compressing your files?
Corrupt.
Yeah, couldn't it corrupt?
How about proprietary? Depends on what you compress your file with. You need the same program to uncompress it, eh? How many of you got stuff you can't uncompress? I've been there, right? So they're good. Okay, now, are file management programs, utility programs or operating system? Or the system program?
Wait, what's the question?
A file management system, like FAT32. Is it a utility program or is it part of the operating system? Ooh, I'm not sure myself.
Operating.
I wanna say operating system.
I would say utility. How many vote utility?
I'm gonna
How
go
many
with
vote operating system?
Oh, there.
Utility carries 43.
What is it?
It's utility.
Oh, it is?
That's not in the book.
Democratic computer course. So it's gonna stay there. Absolutely right. Now, so Jeff, what does it mean to shuffle parts of a file around or scatter parts of a file around?
I can see the ways when you take files and you move them around.
Well, you don't actually move them around, but the following thing happens.
Yeah, split it
Look,
up.
you got that, right?
Let's say that
You
this
get
is,
like, no, really, I get one, I get shot.
let's say that this is your hard drive. This is the surface upon which things are written. And each location is numbered, it has a location. So you have a document that you send to the file. So the first line of it is written right here. Now the second line of it, the logical place is to write it right here. But there's already being used by some other document, it's not available. So the file management system hunts and it finds another slot over here for the rest of your document. And then another logical place is say down here and then on some other platter. Is your document shuffled?
Correct.
And now what's the technical word for
Fragmented.
shuffled?
Fragmented.
Fragmented, your document is fragmented. So when you go to retrieve your document, do you not have time overhead
Correct.
going from one piece to the other? So would you not get a faster access piece if your disk was reorganized so that all the pieces of a document were next to the other pieces?
Correct.
Defragging.
Defragging, it's like detoxing. Defragging, right? And so that makes your disk tight. And also when it defrags, it checks all the parts of your disk whether they are still undamaged. And it labels damaged parts and it skips over them in subsequent use, unusable. How many of you have ever run Disk Doctor and defragged your disk? Gene, how long did it take?
Forever.
Longer.
It's still defragging.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
That's right. You pay the price. Don't do it if you have something you want to do the same day. Okay, Jeff, you go for shuffling.
All right.
A person.
All right, you wanna? Yeah, I'll give you an
No
easy
such
one.
thing as too hard.
Okay. Tom. Name
That's
five
too hard.
types of file extensions. and
Name
give
what?
me- Name me 5 types of file extensions and give me 2 examples of each.
Jesus.
Types of file extensions.
Correct.
Types of file extensions.
That's the easy part of the question.
Well, okay, they're executable programs that have extensions of .exe. And there are graphics programs that have extensions JPG, GIF, and PNG. There are word processing programs, extensions doc and docx.
Good.
Mac probably has their own. And there are there are spreadsheet programs that have,
No, that's a
Excellent.
document.
that's not a document.
It is in here. It is in the book. I'm just saying the book says that.
There are audio systems audio files that have extensions. Wave is just a wave is or MPG, and movies that have MPG, wave, and MP4.
Before, correct?
He's hard to satisfy, man.
What do you want examples?
I spent a lot of time reading files.
One more.
I know,
Come on.
but it's there.
We just talked about it too.
We did?
Were you not paying attention?
Did you read the chapter?
Did you read the chapter?
Oh, the other one is one I didn't name.
Good call. That's correct, you got it correct.
100%.
Jordan in the
One
front,
I
no?
did- I didn't
Compressed
get
files.
name.
Right on.
The zip files,
Yeah,
thank
see
you.
you.
Okay. Wow, I wouldn't have got there without help. Okay, Jordan H. for saving my armpit.
Ayano, what does creating a backup mean?
Never did it.
What does creating a backup mean?
Oh, like saving, copying, the data, only making a copy of the existing data for the pictures.
Mm.
Is that okay?
Just in case what?
Just in case the file disappear or like
Becomes corrupted or?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Jordan H., where do you usually keep your backup copies?
I don't have it. But I would keep them off my computer because if it crashes, then there goes my backup files.
External.
All right, so where would you keep them?
External hard
Where would you
drive.
keep your external hard drive?
In the closet.
Yeah.
And when your house burns down?
And you say,
It's the least of my problems, isn't it?
Yeah.
My
Oh,
house
wait,
is
wait.
burned down.
But now, if you're a major company though, and you have backup files, then natural disaster is one of your major concerns, earthquake, floods, and fires. So you basically want to keep them in another location. And at the other location, as we'll find out later, you can have a hot site or a cold site. And it doesn't depend on which shift is on, work. What it depends on, what's the difference between a hot site and a cold site, is a hot site is ready to up and run. If you go down now, they go up now. Everything's in place.
It's a backup
Backup
generator.
generator.
That's
Yeah.
expensive, right? A cold site, it's got the rudiments of the stuff over there, it's empty, no workers, and missing a few other big items, but you can get it up and running in a limited amount of time. So cold sites, hot sites. Now, what's the difference between backup and recovery, Gene? Backup is one thing, recovery is another, what's that?
recovery is when you have some sort of, something happened to your hard drive, and with recovery, you are trying to go back into that,
Yeah.
and whether it's corrupted or whatever, you're trying to get it back.
Yeah, it's your plan.
Yeah.
It uses the backups to come back online. Now, Jeff, can you name me 3 industries that would need a hot site?
Computer.
Is a computer in it, or businesses? Name me 3
Like a
businesses.
website, any type of website, like a internet.
I have websites, I don't need a hot site.
All right, well then you probably should get one.
I don't
Internet,
need one.
something-
How about aircraft, airplane ticketing? Airplane online ticketing, right? If their computer goes down, how long can they afford to be down?
Zero, can't.
Can't, name me two more.
Bank servers?
Hmm?
Bank servers?
You
Oh, yeah, that would
Financial?
be terrible.
Perhaps? Any other?
know, social media.
Go to break. Come back 5:42. Are you related to that stellar, outstanding student that sat near you that took Math 103, went by the same name?
Good chance.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Mark, you did some outstanding presentations tonight.
I'm about as smart as a 2-year-old when it comes to computers.
No,
Horrible.
don't humble you, don't glorify yourself.
Yeah,
You
my son could probably
got
do
a
better
ways
than I
to
can.
go to get to that level, come on now. Come on, work your way towards it.
I'm attempting to.
2-year-olds run circles around you.
True.
Okay, guess we're about ready to go to access.
Do you only teach these 2 classes? Math 103 and this?
That's right, and the other one I just show up.
I thought you did that for this one.
Dude, he hasn't even given you a grade yet.
His one said it.
The grade.
I didn't want to contradict you, it's only good manners. Think about it. Okay.
Is it next class that we'll be getting the test to study for?
They got a sick flush with this too, probably to seal.
Okay, let me get my fingers available so I can count.
Cylinder.
Well, this is class 7,
Picture.
Yeah, the cylinder fits in here.
and
what I
the
found
test will be
downtown.
on,
Enough to fit, well, fit on that cylinder.
class 9,
But no,
which
for
will
this
be
side.
next Monday, and you're absolutely right. So, next class I give you a blank test too.
Thank you.
What's the, who makes those guns?
Red Republican.
Check.
Check. Shrek. Check.
I'll see if I can find it.
What's the company?
Okay.
Yeah,
Would they have,
you went to your other
I
class,
was
didn't
thinking,
you?
Yeah, I
I don't think they have anything that would,
Yeah.
Fit
I
on
was
that.
thinking you was talking about like, something to hook up from an air compressor, like a normal air compressor fitting, and then screw on this side, the female end, but.
Hmm. So just for you, Ariano, I put the videos of the class you missed out there.
Right, so just getting it,
How did you,
getting it from here to that would be.
Succeed at watching them,
You
did
have
they
to have
go okay?
an adapter,
And you
step it
You
down
what?
a little bit, but then also getting something set flush on this so that the O-ring does its job would be difficult too.
So 2 minutes, we start.
No accessories or
Yeah.
anything?
They show this, but they didn't show anything that allows me to put compressed air.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 30 seconds, so if you're engaged in outside activity, try to find a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back, thank you, everybody. Now, this will be the program for the rest of the night, for the rest of the week, and then to next week as well. First, I'm trying to get that camera to show the access screen, and it's been failing so far. So what I've done is I focused it so it only shows the screen and nothing else right now. Might improve it a little bit. We're going to do quite a bit more with access tonight. And we do not have, don't cry, I know this is tough to take, we don't have a Friday class this week. In fact, we don't have any more Friday classes. Hang in there, hang in there. I mean, roll with it, you know, you can get over anything. And Saturday workshops are still active from 2 to 4 every day. And we want to start thinking about winding up this access project now, getting ready for your programming project coming next. So this is our timeline. For today, for those people that got thumbs up, which is almost everyone,
We're good.
I ask that you come in with your 3 files designed and that you had reports generated for each of those 3 files and forms generated for each of those 3 files. Now, it went without saying that you should have relationships established also. The relationship should be in place. Now, if you're going to generate reports, it means that you have successfully designed your database that the relationships worked, and therefore you had a green light to enter data. So you should have some sprinkling of test data so you can illustrate how your reports look. Now, last time I introduced a very simple query as the next item that we're doing, and some of you mistakenly thought that that was the end of queries. We haven't even touched on it. That's the beginning of queries. Queries can be quite involved, and tonight we're going to get into involved queries, or query involvements, however it works. And then I want you to embellish your system with 3 queries, 2 of which will be complicated. In other words, involving compound situations, using AND or logic. And we'll talk about those. Then the last thing that you have to do with your project, and it's finished and out of your life forever, is to put a switchboard on it. Okay? So then you'll put the switchboard on it, and it's all done. Now,
Excuse me,
pardon me?
where is this switchboard?
You don't know what a switchboard is?
No.
Okay, see me after class. Everybody else, no problem. I will tell you how to use switchboard tonight. As last class, I told you how to use a query. And that means that on our next class, I think that these access projects should be done. And you might say, what about the textbook? The next chapter is very, very easy. Applications, programs. For those of you that do chapters, you can do it very quickly. Giving you lots of time to finish up your access project. Okay. So now that's not a do or die due date. If you're not done, we can give you a little extra time, like Thursday morning or Thursday noon. But we definitely want them done by a week from today. So if you don't have yours done by Wednesday, then you go into emergency mode and you schedule time with me to work on it, or you take one of your more adept classmates out to lunch and allow them to help you also, and go into group mode and get yours kicked out. And if it's not done by Saturday, then do come in from 2 to 4, Saturday afternoon, work on it too. Because next Monday, week from today, we do want to start programming. We want to start computer programs. So that means this should be our last week of access. Okay, so we're shifting a gear on access right now. This is the week for access. Okay. Now, are there any questions about the access project? Yes, sir.
It was my understanding that this week, for Wednesday, we were supposed to have reports and queries. I did not have the reports ready yet. I had everything else, but I was taking the reports
I
and
was
queries.
hoping no one would remember that.
Yeah.
You wrote it down.
Georgie, how do you do that? How do you
Hey,
pull it off?
I got it right here, sir.
I mean, I try to do what you do and I get called on it.
Nice.
All right.
Unique.
Hi, guilty as charged. Okay, I will stick by what I said and back everything off by one class. By Wednesday, you only need to have these 3 reports, these 3 files with data and reports. 3 tables, right.
You're confusing me now.
So,
Yeah, me
Wait,
too.
which files?
Hold on,
3 tables,
hold on,
Tables,
hold on.
forums.
report
Hold on.
queries.
Today, we're supposed to have 3 tables with relationships and forms. Today.
Okay, no.
Yeah, that's
Got
right.
it?
Next
Alright.
class is
Next
reports
class.
and queries.
3
Two.
reports and 2 queries.
Okay,
3 reports?
so I'm still good.
Hi.
Yeah, 3 reports. All you're doing is listing out your 3 files. Simple list.
2
Now, the query is also, can be fed into a report.
Yep, says it right there.
Good. And that means if I've already required that you do 2 queries by
Wednesday.
Wednesday, I'm not in as bad shape as I thought, because then by the following Monday, next Monday, I'm only going to require that you do one more query, and it'll be complicated, and a switchboard. And Ayano can tell us what a switchboard is.
So 3 total queries.
3 total queries.
So 3.
Three.
3 total queries and 1 switchboard, all by next Monday. Okay, so now, it's show and tell time. So first, do we have any as yet unapproved projects? Do we have any as yet unapproved projects?
You approved my last class.
But the class
What was
did,
that?
I'm not the
Oh, are we doing
authoritative
that again?
body, so throw it, put it to them.
All right. Are you ready?
Okay, listen, this isn't where you come in.
Okay, so I want to know which gangs are controlling which cities. My first table will be gangs, their
Your
name.
first what?
Oh, what?
Your first what?
Table?
Table?
Table,
Table, oh.
table.
I thought you said Foldville, okay.
Hold on. All right, my first table will be gangs, and it will have their name, their nationality that they represent, and the leader, also known as a shot caller. The second table will be the location, and one of them will be cities and population of that city. And the composite will be the names in the cities, the start date from which like the gang took over, the end date from which the gang or another gang may have taken over, and the murderer as a secondary
The murder rate of the city,
of the gang.
like how many people?
No, it's a composite table, gang in a city, if you put
Yeah,
that field.
correct, sorry, you're right.
Thank you.
Gang in city.
Thank
Gang in that, during that city that they have.
This doesn't have to be realistic,
Oh, it doesn't?
it's not.
Oh, it's not.
Okay, but yeah, you're still curious.
I was just thinking about, said you wanted the population in your city's table?
Yeah, populations of the cities, I can't think of anything else for cities, so
Yeah.
it's,
Average temperature.
yeah, that's very, very important. Gangs are very tropic. They don't like it
Very
cold.
temperamental.
Yeah, they're very
temperature.
temperamental.
When it's cold, they get a little more active.
Any other comments, Mike?
Yeah, if
You're not
you
gonna
come
let this
up
one
with a
pass,
city
are you?
group, that'd be awesome.
Any other comments? Okay, green thumbs up for Jeff. Anybody else does not have have a not yet approved topic? All topics are approved, good. Okay, it's time to start showing what we've got. Who's got something to show? Ayano.
Yes, I will.
Okay, you wanna come up and show to the class? Talk to them. And before you start showing your stuff, please give them a 30-second review of what your project is, in case, like me, they forgot. So,
Something about puppies. Sorry.
Do we need to do anything?
yeah, you need to critique this.
No, I mean with the lights.
No, I've tested it, all is better with lights on.
Okay, so my topic is like dog.
Could you stand in front of the screen since that's all the camera is doing? Okay, stay off screen if you want, that's a choice, yeah.
Okay. Well, my topic is like the visit of dog to the like trimming salon, and then my first static table is the customer, such as dogs, and I have some field. The key field is customer ID. But it's kind of a mistake. I wanna change to the like just a number. This is like an automatic number, so I will change it to the number, so I can create my own number. And then like next, comes to the name, and then here is lady, my dog, and then ride for the chauffeur here. Okay, and then like name, it's text, and then the gender. So since it's a dog, so there's not so many gender. So I just put the, yeah, like female or male. And then I ignored the like a neutered or not, just female or male. And I thought I could have the bleed, like a dog bleed, but instead of the bleed, I just put the like the size of the dog. It's like I have here. No.
To make it easy, could you go to design view